What's going on, everybody? We are live. This is your boy, the Scripture Plug.Albert, and today, man, today's going to be a good day. Today, I'm going to be sharing my testimony, and Lord willing, as I share, the good Lord is edified, and I'm able to, just talk about what God has been doing in my life and why my life is where it's at right now. So, I've had a lot of people come on, a few people come on anyway, and that share the testimony. It's been such a blessing, and I've been asked a couple of times, like, "Oh, when are you going to share yours?" So I was like, "Nah." Might as well pick this time to do it and share and talk about just what God is doing. So shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to the people that are watching now and or later when if anybody decides to watch this later anyway. Appreciate you, Una, for always being in the chat. Una, man, you are everywhere. The crew that I see in the chat is the same crew that I see supporting everybody, and it's a beautiful thing. One Way Apologetics, y'all there. Rabbi Ed, Radar Apologetics, y'all there. Pro Life Sister Chloe, y'all there. God Logic Stream, y'all there. And the fact that you guys are here, man, I appreciate it so much. And just to see you guys always showing support and love to the people that are doing what they can to spread the gospel and spread the truth is an amazing thing. And man, we got a great community here. We have an amazing community. So appreciate you guys. Hassan, what's up, brother? Appreciate you showing up. So a little before I get into it, I want to share a couple things that are upcoming. Real quick. The gospel, amen, gospel gang. That's what I'm here for. I preach good stuff, gospel gang. I just woke up. Oh man, appreciate you, Mikey. Speaking of things that are coming up, if you guys see Mikey in the chat, he will be coming to share his testimony, I believe, next Saturday on the 9th. So be on the lookout for that. Also have another brother coming to share his testimony sometime this week. He's a huge Rockets fan, as am I. So we have to make sure that we pick a day that the Rockets aren't playing because he also has a show where he talks about the Rockets game. So he does a post game show. So got another brother who's going to be sharing his testimony here soon, and then obviously Mikey in the chat. So be prepared for that because that's going to be a blessing. I really want to hear Mikey's story because from just his antics and how he is on TikTok, man, this brother's hilarious. So I can't wait to hear about his life and kind of where he's come. I've heard a little bit about his story, just again via his TikToks and also him sharing a little bit on Black Doctors Live not too long ago, and how he's the only Christian in his family. So can't wait to hear that. Cannot wait to hear that. So those are some of the things that's coming out, and then tomorrow morning we'll be doing. Oh, not tomorrow morning, excuse me. Tomorrow afternoon, probably about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., depending on how everything goes after lunch. We'll be doing episode 6 and 7 or 5 and 6 of church history. So we're just going to be learning about, the different sects of, the church. I think, which is going to be amazing because if I'm not mistaken, one of those videos is talking about the non-sects of Christianity, those heretics. So I can't wait to do that. Can't wait to learn where all those people come from and how they think they know better, even though they come thousands of years after. So can't wait for that. It's going to be amazing. Hopefully that's the episode. I think it is. So those are some of the things on the horizon, and obviously I do other reactions as well that are going to drop. I really don't have a rhyme or reason when I put certain reactions out. They just drop, and whichever ones come out, they come out. Like this morning, I had Sam Shamoon sharing about Muhammad, or not Muhammad, excuse me. Well, might as well be Muhammad, but Satan being in all the Muslims' noses, and how my perspective of that is, man, Satan must be omnipresent because if he's in all these Muslims' noses at one time or at different times throughout the night, and brother got to be very powerful. And then they got to put in the water and snort them out and stuff like that. So that came out this morning. I believe tomorrow morning I did a reaction to Bob from Speakers Corners. By the way, shout out to everybody who told me about Bob from Speaker Corner because that brother is crazy. Oops, my bad. My apologies. So that will be coming out tomorrow morning, I think, and then whenever else the reactions drop, the reactions drop. So uh real quick, appreciate you, DW. God bless you. Thank you for being here, being present. So with that, I'm just gonna do a little prayer, and we're just gonna get into it. I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna say or how I'm gonna say it, but I'm just gonna do what I can to share what God has done in my life, because that's what we're here for, to be able to talk about the changes that God has made in our lives. So, wait, real quick, fun fact: the name Muhammad means one who praises. The name Judas also means, ooh, all right, all right. Una hitting us with the fun facts. I'm gonna put it up there for everybody to see, for all the Mohammedans and the Muslimas and the Dawa Dashers and the Takia track stars. By the way, Takia track star, heard it here first. Y'all can use it though. I'm letting y'all use it. We gotta be able to spread the love. Spread the love. But that with that being said, if you guys can join me in prayer, and we can get this thing started. So, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing me to be able to have a relationship with you, learn and grow, and understanding what it means to actually live life and have life uh, from you, God. I just hope and pray as I speak today that I'm able to put myself away and bring you forward, Lord, because anything that I do or anything that I've done that is worth anything has come from your power, your grace, and your mercy, God. So I just hope and pray that I'm able to display that as I share the relationship and my understanding of where I've been able to grow, and that's because of you, God. I just hope and pray for anybody in the chat, Lord, if they're struggling with anything, that they lean on you, God. Um, Family of friends, people who may not even necessarily be believers yet, Lord. I just hope and pray that there's a way for their eyes to be opened and the hearts to be less hardened, God, so that they can come to know who you are. We still got time, God, and our truth and the love of Jesus. I say all this in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. All right. So, oh wait, hold on. I gotta throw the. Don't be judging the hair, y'all. I ain't get it. I ain't get it done this morning. That's how you know. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing done right because you just throw a hat on and just go about your business. Throw a hat on and go about your business. So, as you guys can see, am I still lagging, y'all? Because I was lagging out real, real bad just then. So I want to make sure. Are we good to go? Or anything like that? Oh, I'm. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Why is my internet connection going haywire? Better? Hmm. Do dancing? Uh. All right, y'all. I might have to. Seems like I always have to. Seems like I always have to restart. Seems like I'm gonna have to do that. All right, y'all. So if you can, if you want to come back, come join me again. Oh, is it back going? Good. I'm gonna have to cut all this out. If I keep this stream, I'm gonna have to cut all this out. Okay, I think we're back going good. Are we good? Can y'all see me? Y'all see the little shimmy? Hey, 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 shimmy here. Y'all see that? Without any lag? Okay, bet. Too easy. I gotta get better internet. I got Spectrum, y'all. Let me know. Y'all got any internet recommendations? Because I got Spectrum, and it seems like every time I go live, there's always something wrong. Always something wrong when it starts off with. But anywho, I'm just gonna power through. So with that, as you guys can see, has um, the thumbnail has a Matthew 23:12 on there, and a lot of times when I've been able to have people come on and share the testimony, I ask them a question, and the question is, is there any particular verse or anything that means something, or that you go to a lot that helps you in life, or help you kind of redirect, or help you kind of keep your mind back, or get your mind back on track. And I ask that because Matthew 23:12 is that particular verse for me. Matthew 23:12 is what I believe that God has given me to make sure that I understand where I've come from and what it is and where it is that I want to go. So, but that'll come a little later. So, the first time I believe, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So, my life, I've had a pretty good life growing up. I'm the youngest of 7 kids. All my brothers and sisters are older than me. by a lot. Well, actually, outside of my sister, most of my other siblings are 5 plus years, 20 plus years older than I am. So the youngest of quite a few, and I've grown up with a lot of good times, but then bad times because my family has been in addiction a lot. I have a few uncles, grandparents, brothers, sisters that have all been and faced addiction. So I kind of grew up under that, and I grew up where I would see a lot of things, and there was really no reason for me to have a, quote unquote spiritual upbringing or upbringing bringing about Christianity. We kind of was able to do whatever it is that we wanted to. For example, I want to say 5 years old, and if you've ever seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn, I don't recommend you watch it now. But if you have seen that movie before, that's not a good movie, and it's also not a good movie for somebody who's 5 years old, to be able to watch. So I was able to do really whatever it is I wanted to do when it comes to things I was able to take in. Now, granted, we still had rules, like we had to be in before the lights and all this other stuff, but I was able to take in whatever it is that I could. And then I also had, my sister in the basement, going through withdrawals and things of that nature, uh, cops being called because of domestic violence. So all these things have been, in my life, but it wasn't necessarily a direct um, issue with me. It was just things that I perceived, things that I took in, and things that were pretty much how I lived. So, at any point in time, we could have had between, you know, no less than 4 to 9 people living in the house at one point in time. So, a lot of people in my house coming in and out, a lot of drugs coming in, and then my parents not necessarily. At least I don't believe they knew the wiser of what my other siblings were doing, because they really didn't know anything about drugs at the time. So, seeing some things. So that's basically how I grew up, where no filter. And one day there was this little weird kid who was at a bus stop. Little weird kid at a bus stop. I'd always see him on the bus, getting going, things of that nature. And well, one day he had these little pop rock things. That things you throw them on the ground and they make a spark and they blow up. So he had this, and I was intrigued because I'm like, oh, that seems fun. I've never had any pop rocks like that. Or what is he? What's he going on? Is he shooting at the ground? What's going on? So I went over to talk to the little kid. I think he's like 5 years older than me. So he was probably like 11 at the time, maybe 10. And then as he's throwing these pop rocks and he's waiting on the bus, I'm like, yo, let me get some. Let me play with those. Don't be stingy. Mm-mm. Divide that. He's like, oh, yeah, sure. We can play. You can have these or whatnot. But if I let you play with these, I'll let you play with more if you come to church with me. I was like, what? Church? What is that? At the time, I had no clue what church was. Again, I was like 7 years old, maybe 6 years old. So my mind of church, there was no recollection of what that is, no understanding of anything about God or Jesus or anything like that. So, but back then, I'm trying to play with the pop rocks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get the pop rocks. He says I can get more pop rocks if I go to church. Easy work. Let me go talk to my mom and we going to church. I'm about to get me them pop rocks. So fast forward a little bit, I go tell my parents like, "Yo, I want to go to church," and yada yada yada. And they're like, "Cool, whatever." Even though my parents weren't necessarily growing up or teaching us how to grow up in a Christian household, my one of my grandfathers was Catholic, and also my other grandparents were they were Baptists, I believe. So my parents grew up in the church and grew up around church, but it wasn't something that they instilled in us at any point in time. So fast forward, when I'm getting ready to go to church, I got my little suit on and whatnot, suited and booted, had a little turtleneck on, about to go kill the game just for some pop rocks. So I get out and I'm waiting for this bus to come, and the time starts to pass. He said be ready around like 9 or something like that. And so I'm waiting, and the bus isn't coming. And at the time, one of the things I'm not allowed to do because we live on a busy street is I'm not allowed to cross the street, especially that I'm so young. And anytime that I had to cross the street, it had to be with one of my older siblings or my parents. So I'm like, but I'm trying to get to this bus because I need these pop rocks. The desperation in my mind, in my heart to get these pop rocks were like, yo. So I'm like, forget what my mom says. I got to figure out. So he lives right across the street. So I start to run across the street. As I'm running across the street, there's this van that pulls in front of me, drives right in front of me. I don't know how fast it was going. I don't know how fast anything was happening like that. If I was taller, the mirror of the van might have took me out, but because I was so short, it kind of just drove past me like real quick. And when I was like collecting myself, there was this lady. Black woman, dark skin, long locks with red in them. So, like, I can remember all this. And she sticks her head out the window and yells something at me. I don't know what she yelled at me, and she didn't stop, by the way. I guess she found out since she didn't hit me, she just kept going, which was, now that I think about it, and now that anytime I think about it, it's like, yo, that's kind of messed up. And what's really messed up is because the white van that drove by, there was a bunch of books, different colored books on the side of the van, and then in red letters it said Jesus saves on it. I said, well, how in the world, now thinking about it, y'all gonna just drive past me and this bus says Jesus saved, but you ain't gonna check to see if I'm all right. But so that's like my first time knowing about church, knowing about God or anything like that. This van passing by, and me seeing that Jesus saves. So 6 years old, doing what I'm not supposed to be doing, crossing the street, and then right when I get to his house and like knock, then my mom starts to yell at me like, "Yo, what are you doing?" Yada yada yada. So fast forward, that's my first experience with just seeing the name Jesus. Red letters on the white van that just drove right past me and didn't care if it hit me or not, just kept going. So Jesus saves, that's, burnt in my mind. And then when I finally get to go to church, finally get to go because it was like the next week or the following week. I don't remember what happened with the church bus, but so now I'm there finally being a bus kid. We're singing these songs, you know what I'm saying? We're having candy thrown at us. It's great. The service, we got the boys over here, the girls over here. We're yelling, singing out these worship songs like we're rock stars and heavy metal singers, like we're Red or something like that, Switchfoot, singing who can sing the loudest and them beaming candy at us. Oh, it's great. If this is like church, if this is what church is, I should have been coming here. Free candy? What? Just to scream some songs? Easy work. So then it comes time for the kids version of the altar call. So we're there, and they ask if anybody has been saved or if they want to be saved. So heads down, I'm praying, and then my friend, the one who's giving me the pop rocks, just grabs my hand and throws it up, throws my hand up there so that I can go get saved and say the prayer, have God come into my life, come into my heart, and at that time, I truly believe where I sit today, with everything that transpired at 6 years old, I believe that I truly asked God into my life at that particular time. I truly believe, even though He grabbed my hand and forced it up, prayer I was saying when I wanted God to come and transform my life, I truly believe that that was the time that I didn't quite understand that who God was, but I knew I wanted what it is that they were asking. So, unfortunately, from then on, because I lived in the type of household I lived in, I started to develop a not so Christian mindset because, again, I grew up where nobody was teaching me anything. If I wasn't in church on Sunday, I was around everything else that I was around throughout the rest of the week. So we weren't the best kids. We were kind of, just in trouble a lot, fighting, doing things that we shouldn't have been doing. So it's like I go to church on Sunday, and then that was it. Wasn't discipled, didn't know anything about scripture, hardly ever, read even as a young kid. Even though I said like, "Oh man, this feels great and I love it," it quickly started to die down a little bit. The more I got to like the age 11, and I really started to see how my family was and how everybody wanted to use and abuse these drugs. And in my mindset, this is where I started to develop, um, which is again why Matthew 23:12 is so very important to me. This is where I started to develop the ego that was so massive that I like to say that I put Kanye West to shame when it comes to how I viewed myself. One of the reasons is because he has a lot of money. He can, you know, be ignorant and he can flash all these things and have this big ego because of all this money. I was broke and my ego was still on par, if not greater than his, and how I viewed myself. So I found it very easy growing up in the manner that I did of how to manipulate people and how to manipulate people that were on drugs and obviously alcohol. So I could pretty much do and get away with anything I wanted to because I had the older siblings that, if they got to this particular point in their drinking or using, that anything I wanted to do, I could just have them do it for me and just have them being part of. So I started to develop this mindset of how to manipulate people and how I'm better than because all these other people in my life are chasing these substances. They're chasing this feeling. And me, I don't have this desire. So then I still believe in God at this time, and I still believe in uh, me being saved. But I take certain things that may or may not be in Scripture, and then apply that in a manner that's not beneficial. So I would always hear like, "Oh man, we're made in God's image," right? I would always hear that. So then for me, since I'm made in God's image, that means I am God. And that also goes into the mindset that I had. So my mindset was I am God because I can manipulate all these people to do whatever it is I wanted to do. I could lie to all these people and make them think that I'm something better than what I am or less than or whatever the case. In whatever manner, I would just lie to people, manipulate people. And that's what my life was for better part of 11 to 18. That was what I did. That was what I was good at. So I thought, and it just made it real easy to kind of get through certain things and not necessarily develop any real attachments to folk or people, especially the church. So then about age when I started getting to high school, I just completely stopped going to church. Still thought I knew who God was, still thought I knew that, I was going to go to heaven. Still thought that, I was God because, I'm made in his image. Nobody's discipling me, nobody's teaching me any better. So I'm just doing my thing all the time. And when I graduate high school, which I barely did, by the way, um, there was this girl who went to high school with me, and I used to bug her for everything. I was a bum in high school. Like I was the kid that said, "Hey yo, you got gum? Hey yo, you got paper? Hey yo, you got a pencil?" That was me. I ain't had nothing. Like I said, I barely passed school. It was I just kind of went. I would actually even go to school and not be in class. They would send truancy papers to my home, though I was in school. I just didn't go to class. That's what my high school was like, again, because this negative mindset I had. So, I'll go to these certain places and see these certain people and just, again, be able to manipulate a lot of folks because even in high school, a lot of people wanted to drink, a lot of people wanted to party, a lot of people wanted to smoke. So it's real easy to, again, if it was easy to manipulate adults, it's real easy to manipulate teenagers as well when it comes to uh, when they're under the influence. So again, fast forward a little bit. There's this girl who ended up graduating. She ended up asking me to come to her graduation party, and I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to do that because she was having that at a church and whatnot. Fast forward a little bit to after that point, she started messaging me on my Facebook all the time. And when she was starting to message me on Facebook, she was basically asking me, "Yo, uh, I go to church. You should come to church with me." Blase skip, yada yada yada. I didn't know then. Now I know now. She was trying to advantage date y'all. That's what she was trying to do. She was trying to get your boy in the church so that she could date your boy. That's what was going on. I didn't know that then though. I just thought, she's just one of those weird church people that come knocking on the door, say, "Hey, you wanna come to church?" That's what I thought. But no, she was trying to advantage date. But eventually she ends up using a word that I was like, "Oh, bet too easy." She said, "Hey, we're having this party. Do you want to come?" I said, "You having a party? But you're a Christian girl." And then I went to her Facebook and seen that she tagged two other girls in this post. And these two other girls, from my recollection, back in when we was in high school, they were partiers. They were people that actually partied in the manner that I thought was partying. So I'm like, oh, if they're going, this is about to be crazy. This is about to be good. But I didn't go to any of the church things. I didn't go to her graduation, nothing like that. But she said party, bet, too easy. So she never gave up. She kept asking me for these things, but she said party. So easy work. I'm going to this party. I'm getting my best dress on. By the way, I didn't drive at this point. So again, I was a bum. So my pops had to drive me there, drive me. You know what I'm saying? I told him to pull up, a block before so I can just walk up, act like, what I'm saying, that my pops didn't just drop me off. So I get there and I'm looking, I'm like, man, there's not really too many people that I can see. Like the parties I'm used to seeing, like there's people outside, people, inside, music going. Ain't really none of that. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm early, you know what I'm saying? So I go in there, and I go in there, and this was in October. This was in October. I go in there and I see a couple kids here, a couple teenagers here, a couple adults here, and they were carving pumpkins. She invited me to a youth event, y'all. She deceived your boy. Bamboozled. Bamboozled. She said party. I thought she meant party. But it was a youth event with pumpkin carving. And in my mind, I'm like, bruh, what am I doing here? I can't go call my dad because he just dropped me off. He ain't gonna come back. And now I'm stuck here looking at these weird people looking at me while their hands in the, pumpkin thing. And I ain't never did nothing like this. And I'm like shocked that I was that bamboozled. I'm the one who's usually manipulating folk. And they got me in here with this pumpkin carving event. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm here. Might as well do whatever. By the way, those 2 girls, by the way, they ain't show up. Them 2 girls ain't show up. They knew what I didn't know, that it was a youth event. Crazy. Crazy, crazy. She was trying to get a lot of people to come to church, which bless her heart. Looking back on it, amen. She was doing what it was that she needed to do. But I'm sitting there and I'm carving these pumpkins, and then I won, by the way. They was giving out a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. I really only think I won because they were showing me petty, or not showing me petty, excuse me, but showing me that, hey, yo, you did all right. My pumpkin was not great. Great design idea, not great at all. But they gave it to me anyway. Uh, I can't think of the word I'm trying to use that they were just being nice. We'll say that. They were just being nice. So we're in there, we're doing it, and there's one little girl, it's the pastor's daughter. She just talked my ear off. The whole day she was just talking, asking questions about whatever. I think she was like uh 11 at the time, maybe 9. Just yep, 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 yep. So we're in there, we're having a good time, and I'm just trying to make the best out of it, carving these pumpkins and whatnot. And then they break out to the worship part. So they break out and yes, exactly. Christian Takia, that's what it was. Deception. Deception at its finest. Uh, so we break out into, the worship songs. And again, I grew up, I went to black church, I went to white church, I went to all these different things growing up. I really never paid attention. Um, so they start singing. And the first song they sing is 10,000 Reasons. And actually, she brings out the guitar and she starts singing that 10,000 Reasons by Matt Redman. And I didn't know the words, I didn't know anything. But as the whole room, there was probably like 15 to 20 people in the room. And as they started singing and as they started to, really give their all to what it is worship was to them and how it was just a beautiful sound in that room. Like as they were singing, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know the words that were coming out, but all I felt was just like love. I felt like those people in that room at that time were there on one accord, worshiping God, and it was such a feeling that I just could not explain it. And then they went to sing Jesus Messiah and a couple other songs, and then in that entire time, like I didn't cry because I'm trying to be a thug and whatnot, but it was like, yo, whatever feeling this was, this is something I'm like, yo, I need more of. And whether it be the emotions, the Holy Spirit moving in the room, there was just something going on that I was like, yeah, I need more of this. So then when we get done, I become a kid. I become a kid. Like before, I was doing my best to kind of like just fake it while I was there to make it seem like I was having a good time. But then like after that, I was down for whatever anybody wanted to do. Yo, if y'all want to sing more songs, if y'all want to preach, if y'all want to go out and knock on doors, I was in that moment, I was doing it because I just felt love. Like that was the first time in my life. Again, I believe truly that when I was 6 and that happened early on, where I seen the van and then I raised my hand and said the prayer, I truly believe that I knew who God was and I asked God to, come in and save me. But my flesh and my desires and not growing in the spirit took me away from that. And then at this particular moment, I feel like it's as strong as possible how it brought me back to really wanting to develop that relationship with God and really want to understand why these people showed me this type of love and they didn't even know me. So if when that happened, we ended up like just talking for a little bit and like we was having a good time and just at that moment I felt like I knew everybody. We was all dapping up and whatnot. So then um if I'm not the pastor's wife or the pastor's older daughter was like, yo, let's go over to the church and play sardines. If you guys don't know, sardines is basically just hide and go seek in the dark. I'm like, normally, again, probably like an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, I'm like, what kind of childish nonsense is this? But in that moment, that sounds like a great idea. What? Y'all not gonna be able to catch me. I'm too fast. That's what my mindset was. So we go over to this church and we start playing hide and go seek. And then it was great. I was cooking everybody. They couldn't catch me. I was out there. Pastor's son tried to tag me. I didn't know this church. Bad idea to take off and run as fast as I did. I'm not saying I'm the fastest person in the world, but I take off down this hallway. And normally, like when you're in the dark and you look into another dark room, you can kind of see that, there's a space that you can walk through. Well, I swear I was running up on this space and I was about to go through these doors. And sure enough, I was not, because them doors were shut. I smacked my whole face on that. Surprised I didn't go break through the doors, but then I fell back, and all you heard throughout the entire church when everybody's supposed to be hiding was "Dang!" Because everybody done knew what I just did. Ran straight into that door, cleaned my clock, boom, feet fell back, and then old pastor's son was like, "You all right?" I'm over here like, "Yeah, let's do this again." And I try to get up and shake him. But in the midst of this, as we're playing, um, one of the girls screams. One of the littler, younger girls, she screamed, and we're like, "Yo, what's going on?" So we walk out, and then she like pointing out. So like we're inside the church, and then she's pointing out to the street because there's a dude who's just like running back and forth in the street into the parking lot. Fairly big dude, just running back and forth and whatnot, and then he takes off down the street. So we're like, "What in the world?" So then at that time, one of the fathers came. So it was the pastor, me, and one of the other fathers. We were there in the parking lot saying like, "Yo, that's kind of weird." So then the dude comes running back up, and now we can kind of like see him, and now he's like grunting, and he's kind of like wobbly with what it is that he's doing. So he comes back up and he's like, "Yo, I'm hungry. Can y'all get me some food?" Something like that. And the pastor's the one talking the whole time. He's like, "Yeah, we can get you some food," but he was basically telling like, "Yo, we got kids in here. You're kind of scaring the kids." And he's like, you know, uh, if you want to talk a little bit, we can, but we kind of got to get out of here and, make sure that these kids are safe because, you're kind of being weird, kind of threatening them. He didn't say being weird, but, he's being really calm about the situation. And then we're still talking to him. And then for some odd reason, dude just books off again. He just runs and he's like zigzagging in and out and whatnot. I'm like, man, this is kind of crazy. This is kind of weird. And in the moment, I'm still like, still feeling, the spirit. I'm still in that understanding of love and care. And whatever the pastor's saying, we gonna do it. If we need to get this man some food, we're gonna get this man some food. I'm gonna be with him. We're gonna be riding till the wheels fall off when it comes to me being there that night. So then he like comes back again and he's like ducking behind cars like we don't see him ducking behind these cars. And as he's kind of approaching us again. Now he's like yelling, like, "Yo, I need to go to sleep. I need some food. Let me go in there." Now, at the time, the kids and the younger women are still in the church, and it's just us three older, well, yeah, adults out there. And like, nah, you ain't about to come to this church. We still got these kids in these churches. Like, not about to happen. So he takes off again. He takes off again, and this time he's like in the yard of the church. And then in my mind, I got two bills on me. I got a 10 and a 1. I got a 10 and a 1, and I'm like, "All right, bet. I'm gonna get this man this 1 so he can leave and leave us alone so we can go about because these kids are scared." So I walk out to him, and I'm like, I got the 1 in my hand. So I think, man, y'all, I gave that brother the 10. Ah, if I would have really, man, get that brother the 10. But anyway, so I'm walking out there, hand out the dollar, say, "Hey, just take this and leave. Get whatever you need with it." Like a dollar was gonna get him anything. It's gonna give him maybe a honey bun. So I gave him the dollar, and like he throws his hand out there and like grabs my arm, tries to scare me. On everything I love, my demeanor didn't change. I was still stoic and just cool, calm, and collected, and shocked myself when I think about like, yo, how am I not freaking out right now? And in the midst of this, I see this brother's face because now I'm right here, like arm distance where he's grabbing me. This man had both ears, cauliflower ears. If you know what that is, you know that brother is either a fighter or a wrestler. So both cauliflower ears. He had scars on his head, was beat all to mess. This dude was rough in the face. And I'm like, still sitting there, and I'm like, "Are you gonna take the money?" And then like he kind of like lets go of my arm. And when he lets go of my arm and I go to walk back and he has my money, at that moment, there was something in my mind that said, "Oh, this brother's about to shoot me. He's about to shoot me, and I'm gonna be gone." But he didn't, alas, and then he ran away again. So now we're getting back at the church. We're trying to call the parents to say, you guys come get your kids, yada yada. And then he comes back again. And he comes back again. And this is when I knew, like, at the time, my pastor, that brother was cold blooded. He was a ride or die. And it's like, oh man, I love these folk. But so he comes back and he's like, "Yo, I'm about to get in there. I need to sleep. Like I'm going through it." So then he rushes me because I put myself in front of the door. And like he grabs me and we're kind of like wrestling around a little bit. And I'm just basically in my mind, nothing told me to swing on him. Nothing. Everything in my mind just told me to make sure that he did not enter in these doors. So we're tussling, we're wrestling, and then he kind of backs off a little bit more, and then so now my pastor rolls up on him, and now we're all three surrounding him. And my pastor's a pretty nice sized dude, and the other brother is also fairly nice, like 6'4", big guy. So and we're there, and now like we're around him, and then he jumps at my pastor, and my pastor gets in this nice karate stance. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Yo, you want to jump at me? I throw these hands." He was basically saying, "Try Jesus, don't try me, because I'll mess you up." And I was like, "Ooh, let's go, pastor. Let's go, pastor." He said, "I'm not turning the other cheek today." But when he did that, and then the pastor got in his, his little stance, like he's ready to throw down, the dude started laughing. And when the dude started laughing, we're like, "What's going on here?" And this, I love this story, and I hate this story at the same time, because ultimately it shows me what God has done, because I was willing to do whatever I could for those people that night. And that's only because of the love that I felt prior to that. Because any other time before that, I'm out. Why would I be here with these people? I don't know these people. I'm gone. Like, this is too much to deal with. Why would I be dealing with this crackhead or potential crackhead who's just trying to, break into a church or whatnot? I'd have been gone. But that night, I was going to do whatever I could to protect those people. And cool thing was, thank God that that brother that was doing all that, he was one of the dudes who was at the youth event. He was just playing a joke on us. He had this $500 mask on that was so realistic. Even in the light, when you put it on, you could not tell that that wasn't a real dude's face. So he was playing a Halloween prank on us that night. But that night made me so mad, by the way. Made me so mad because when I tell that story, it's like, yo, I'm a hero. But then when I tell it in its totality, I'm really not, because he was just a, dude playing a prank. Broke my soul a little bit. But the good thing was, that night I experienced what it means to actually be selfless, to be there for other people, to be away from the manipulation, away from the lies, away from the deceits. And that night, whether I, obviously I wasn't in any real danger, any real harm, but without knowing, that night I would have did whatever it is that I need to do for those people at that time. So when I had that night pass, and then I started going to church with these people, and man, I loved it. I made church everything in my life, kind of. I made church everything in my life in a manner that was when I was around folk, but when I still went back home, I still was around the other elements, the other people that were negative influences, and the people that I've come to find easy to manipulate. So, but I'm still going. I'm still doing more than what I was before. I'm going to Wednesday night service. I'm going to Sunday school. I'm going to church service. Anytime they have an event, I'm there. So I'm starting to really learn a little bit more. I'm starting to learn a little bit more, and I'm enjoying it. And at the time, I still really didn't have any direction, so I decided to then go into the military. And so I'm going into the military. I'm going into the National Guard. So we're going into basic training, and still have an ego about myself, even though I'm starting to shed it a little bit. My ego was still big. My ego was still huge, and I'm still like putting myself in front of others. Even though I experienced what I experienced, just a couple months prior, even though I was willing to do what I did even more so for those people, there was still something in me that my flesh was still strong, and still I was feeding that more so than I was feeding, the Holy Spirit. And I wasn't reading as much, and I wasn't praying as much outside of, when I was around my church community. So going to basic training, and everything was great. Loved it. I got stories for days when it comes to basic training. And I was really good at practice. I was a practice champion, because there's certain things that you had to do. So when it comes to qualifying, we had to qualify with M16s, or excuse me, M4s. And as we had to qualify, we got time to practice in our barracks. So we did certain drills that made you realize if you were able to have a steady hand, if you had good sight picture, things of that nature. So I'm in there, I'm doing my thing. My groupings is tight. You know what I'm saying? My sight picture's good to go. Hands is steady. We had this one drill where you put a stick on the end of the barrel, and you put a coin of whatever kind on the stick. And then if you could shoot and reload your weapon, you had steady hands, you were good to go. So, I had a couple of the records when it came to that. I was able to do it the most. I was able to shoot, reload. and we'd go back and forth. But I was solid. And then one dude sucked at practice. He was trash. I don't know. I'm like, yo, it's about to be bad for you. So in basic training, if you don't complete certain things that you're supposed to do, so you got to complete your PT test. You got to complete being able to qualify with shooting with uh, your rifle and pistol. You have to be able to throw a grenade. You have to be able to do land navigation. You have to be able to do what's some of the other things. I think those were like the main important ones. So you had to complete these tasks, and if you didn't, you got what was called recycle. So that means you had to start basic training all over again. And that's something that wasn't even in my mind. That was something that was far away because I was PT solid, amazing. And everything I did, I was very good. But then this other kid, who was a good buddy of mine at the time, and I would just dog him. I would dog his life out because he sucked so bad. I would throw it in his face like, "Yo, you're about to fail," and all this stuff. Now that I think about it, I probably wasn't a good friend at that time to that man. But yet he was still like, you know, encouraging. So it comes time for us to shoot, and I'm like, "Yo, it's about to be great. It's about to be amazing." And while I'm in basic training, I still hang with people that are believers. But and I still go to church on Sundays. But again, I never really at this point even developed what it means to have my own relationship. A lot of my understanding came from being around the people I was around. My pastor, his kids, my friends at the time. It was like my relationship with God was contingent on being around those type of people as opposed to doing my own studying, do my own prayers, my own reading. So I still had this where I wasn't fully submitting, where I still wasn't fully giving up, and it displayed itself with my pride again. My pride has always been, much like a lot of folks, the biggest thing that's always, put me first. And it happened in this particular moment. So we get to the part where we're actually supposed to qualify. And again, if you qualify, you're good to go. If you don't qualify, you get recycled. And again, never would I ever have thought about getting recycled. But so we go up, and the first thing that you got to do, you have to zero your weapon. And basically, you have to shoot at the farthest target to make sure that you can hit it, and you got to get a solid grouping. So if you can hit the target, that means your weapon's good to go. That means you shouldn't have any issue with hitting any of the targets. So I go up there to zero my weapon, shoot off my first 3 rounds. Ooh wee, ooh wee, that grouping was tight. Boy, they showed me what was going on. The cadre at my side, he's like, "Oh man, we're gonna just bring you up one more time, and you're good to go. Gonna bring you up one more time. Make sure that your grouping is real nice because this right here, solid. Most people got to go up about 3 times, but mine was so good. It's like, hey, just come up one more time, you'll be good. All right, bet. Go up there again. Get ready to fully zero my weapon and then move on to the shooting process. I go up there, fire my next 3 rounds. Ooh, I didn't even touch the paper. I didn't touch nothing. I don't know where those rounds went, but they didn't come close to hitting what it was that they were supposed to be hitting. So then he's like, "Yo, what's going on, brother?" I'm like, "I don't know." He's like, "I just come bring you back on." I go up, and thank God for rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds. We had a lot of rounds to use. Uh, Long story short, I never zeroed my weapon. Long story short, I don't even think I touched the farthest target ever that day again. And it got so frustrating to where it's like, whatever. So then they just moved me along. It's like, you ain't gonna zero your weapon. We need to save this ammo. All right, go qualify. Whatever, cool. I may not necessarily have to hit the farthest target, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna miss these up close ones. So I get there, and time for to qualify. And to qualify, my memory's not as great as it is, but I think you needed to hit at least 17 of 31 targets, if I'm not mistaken. And I hit seven, 7 targets, 7 targets. So I went up there, thought I was the man, had my mind made up that this is gonna be great. Hit 7 targets. So when that happened, ego, pride, everything shot down. My demeanor was at a high until that happened. All that work and practice and everything else of thinking I'm the greatest soldier of all time down the window because of whatever. Whether it was my hand being too shaky, whether it was nerves, I can't tell you to this day why I couldn't hit at that particular time. So fast forward a little bit, I get on the bleachers. Thank God again for ammo, because we had one more day to qualify, which was great. But with me shooting 7, I'm not gonna qualify anyway. I'm not gonna qualify anyway. Hitting 7, ain't no way. But the dude who I was talking trash to the whole time and saying how bad he was, he was like, "How'd you do?" He was like, I think he shot expert. I'm pretty sure he shot. I think he only missed 2 targets." And I'm like, "No way." And I tell him, I was like, "I shoot 7." And in my mind, I'm thinking he's about to give to me everything I gave to him prior to that. In my mind, he's about to destroy my confidence more so than I tried to destroy his. And he did not do that at all. He just looked at me and said, "All right, well, you'll get him tomorrow." And from there, I'm like, the trash I was saying to you, what I deserved at that moment was him just to come and just cook me and say how bad I was and how trash I was and give everything I gave to him. But he did not do that. Not at all. He said, "You'll get it next time." I'm like, dang. If you really want to talk about feeling low, man, I felt like I said when I missed, I said I felt low. I even went lower. I was in the core of the earth with how I felt that this brother. I probably would have actually felt better if he would have talked trash, and probably would have gave me something to like strive for. Like, oh, you ain't gonna have the last laugh on me. Nope. He said, "You'll do it better next time." So, being defeated, we get on the bus and we go back to the barracks. And when we get on the bus and we go back to the barracks, uh, I'm first thing on my mind. First thing on my mind is to go to my Bible. Which is never the case. Never the case. My first thing's never to go to my Bible. Because I'm still in my pride. I'm still in my flesh. I'm still thinking I can do whatever it is that I want to do. But prior to me going to basic training, my church ended up giving me a Bible, which is the Bible that I normally show you guys all the time. And that night, the first thing I do, I go open my Bible, and then what pops up, the first thing I look at is, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's down in the ticker below, and it's also on the thumbnail. Matthew 23:12. And I read Matthew 23:12, and it says, "Whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted." That was the first thing I seen when I got to my barracks, the first thing I opened to. And when I seen that, it seemed like the Lord was no more real to me, or excuse me, he was very real to me in that moment, where it's like, even more so than the night at worship night, because it was like he was truly showing me he is active in the lives of people who are believers. He was active. And when I seen that, there wasn't no like, maybe this is that. It was like off rip. I knew exactly what he was trying to tell me. And all my life up to this point, anytime that I would have him in my life, I would still put me first. I would still have this massive uh, understanding of, my ego is better than and greater than. And well, that whole day, he let me know, you keep doing what it is that you're doing. You keep thinking that you are who you are. I got something for you. And this is one of the reasons why I love God, because he's not the person that a lot of people nowadays paint him out to be. He's not this, hippie Jesus that everybody loves saying. No, he shows true love. And he knew I needed to be humbled in that manner. He knew that I needed to be chastised in a manner that was going to get through and burst that ego and that pride that I have. And that's the God I serve today. The God who knows where we are, knows what we need, and gives us exactly what it is that we need, so that we know that he is real. We have all the history. We have everything that points to Jesus dying on the cross, resurrecting, and then being with the disciples afterwards. We have all that. We have all the history. And it's still that amazing that he will still be with us actually, talk with us actually, show himself actually. So from that day, And that night, I just made up to myself, like, yo, if I get recycled, it is what it is. I'm going to just keep fighting on. If, I'm supposed to be you know, someone who graduates, I'll graduate. But hey, whatever happens, happens. Again, thank God for second chances, because that day, or the next day, excuse me, we were able to go out and requalify, and I did very well. First time going out, did fantastic, and that was not because of anything I was doing, because I had to throw myself to the side. I had to throw everything that I thought to the side and just say, hey, whatever happens, happens, and I'll be all right with the outcome. So I was able to do that and do great. And actually, my drill sergeant, he didn't understand. So when I found out that I passed, and I found out that I did how I did, I dropped to my knees and started praying at that moment. My drill sergeant started, laying into me like, if you don't get up, it's not that serious. Blah 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 blah. Should have did it the first time. Obviously, stronger language than that, but so but he didn't get it at that moment. But I tell you what, I got it. I got it. And that's basically the story of my life, that anytime that I start to allow the flesh to take over, God humbles me, humbles me in a manner that I know he's real and I know he's true. I wish I could tell you that at that moment, because that happened 10 years ago, I wish I could tell you at that moment that that was like the last time that the good Lord had to humble me. It wasn't. It was. There's been many times after that, but the good thing is I'm able to learn more and understand those scenarios, because unfortunately, right now where I'm at, but fortunately at the same time, I still have to battle with the flesh. I still have to deal with being in this fallen world. So today I don't beat myself up about it though. I'm able to understand and recognize these particular issues that I have. So yeah, Matthew 23:12 is a verse that sticks out to me. That's something I have to remind myself all the time. Matthew 23:12. He who humbles himself will be exalted, and he who exalts himself will be humbled. So that's everywhere, everywhere. But so I get out of that situation, and I'm doing well, and I'm able to get through life. And as I'm getting through life, um, man, it's starting to get a lot better, because now I'm starting to actually pray more. I'm actually starting to do things a little bit more. So in my younger years, I was a manipulative liar who was able to control people in the addiction field, or not addiction field, excuse me, but who were dealing with addiction. So again, my siblings were struggling with addiction in their whole lives, and again, my mindset was I'm greater than everybody. So fast forward, I get out of basic training, and my pastor, he works at a rehab facility, a and alcohol rehab facility. And at the time, I still needed a job, because in the National Guard, it's only part time. So once I get out of basic training, I want to be a cop, but I'm still too young at the time, because in my state, you have to be a certain age to become a cop. So they present me the opportunity to say, "Oh well, uh, our center's hiring. They're hiring third shift security. If you want to jump, put your application in. They may hire you because you just got out of basic training, things of that nature." Since I wanted to be a cop, I'm like, okay, well that makes sense. I'm in the National Guard. I work at a security at a drug rehab facility. That's going to look good for when I actually apply to the police academy. So everything's looking good. I get in, and now full circle, the type of people that I were manipulating and walking over and think I'm greater than, now I'm serving. Because now, not it's not like the security job I had. It wasn't like something that, because in my mind, when I thought security at the rehab, I'm thinking I'm about to wrestle these people down. I'm about to hit some folk. I didn't have they barely even gave me a flashlight in security. That's how like lax this particular place was. Um, So it wasn't like one of them security jobs where you think that you got pepper spray, or some of these CEOs in prisons and stuff like that. Nope, it was just, hey yo, something goes down, call the cops. So, all right, cool. But so now I'm serving people, because in the midst of that, I end up going to second shift, and I start working second shift security, and it's a faith-based facility, so they have church all the time. They have church Tuesday through Sunday and twice on Sunday, and they have a bunch of different people come, to share. The place is ran by, there's a lot of Mennonites on the board, and a lot of like real conservative, uh, not conservative. Oh well, yeah, conservative, but like my boss is a, then what are they called? Wesleyan. He's a Wesleyan pastor, holiness movement type. So it's really strict when it comes to some of the guys that they had come preach. So they had Mennonites come preach, they had Amish folk come preach, um, bunch of just different people come preach. So every night, me working second shift, we had to sit in there with the guys. So I'm really starting to get in and like learn from these different viewpoints, which in all actuality, a lot of them sounded really the same too. But so now when I'm with these guys now in second shift, I'm not just watching them sleep anymore or making sure that they are sleeping. I'm actually interacting with these guys. And in doing that, a lot of them, whether it was to try to be manipulative themselves or just genuinely wanting to talk or share, I started to find my purpose because these guys who I have no issues with addiction, I've never touched a drug. I've had maybe 5 sips and literal sips of alcohol in my life. So it wasn't something that I was ever in. But these guys would come and talk to me and just share everything. And, we would talk and I would never really give any advice because I knew that that wasn't my job. That wasn't my position but I was just there as an ear to hear. And so now I'm becoming more and more unselfish because of the position I'm in. I'm able to talk with these guys and listen to these guys and allow these guys to um, really dive in with certain issues that they're struggling with or that other people may not be listening to. So fast forward a little bit, I'm doing my job, still going to church, still doing what I need to do, and asking my church, for direction because at this point I'm like, I would like to do, I would like to counsel soldiers. In my mind, I was like, I would love to help soldiers who deal with PTSD and who also deal with drug addiction. So it's like I'm trying to, see what I can do with that. And I go and ask my boss, I'm like, how do you get into that? How do you get into, this particular business? Because also I was trying to change my MOS. I didn't want to keep doing my MOS at the time because it just got rough, like good old boys club and all that other stuff. But anyway, so then, like, well, you can start small. He was like, we got a counselor who's leaving us soon, and I hear good things about you. How about you? We'll pay for your coursework, and then you can, get your license and see if you want to counsel in any capacity by starting off here. And I'm like, all right, well, if that's what the Lord wants me to do, and that still at the time though, I was getting ready to enter into and take my test for the police academy. So I'm dealing with both of that. So I go take my test for the police academy, but it's a long process. It's not something that you just take your test, especially back then. Nowadays, if I go to the police academy right now and they're like, "Oh, you're hired," because you know how much they're struggling. But back then, it was a little bit, it was a process. So I went in, took my test, passed my test, so now I'm on the list. And then at the time, just asked my church, to help pray, and I'm praying so that I can figure out what it is that I want to do and how I want to go forward and where I want to do with whatever God wants me to do. So they pray and then they say that they're paying for the coursework and everything. So I'm just like, all right, well, I'll just jump on to that. Let's see what that's talking about. Let's see what it means to really get in. Because again, as a security officer, there's certain things that you just can't do. Like in speaking with people, there's certain things that you can't say, and there's certain just code of ethics that you can't go against. So it's going to be a lot different, actually being in there with somebody and actually not only listening, but also trying to do what I can to help them find a solution for their particular issues, to develop the skills necessary so that once they leave here, they don't have to resort to the drugs and alcohol anymore. So they're praying for me, I'm praying for me, and the way just pops up. And so they're like, yeah, we'll do it. So I went, got my coursework done, and then uh, early on, again, God is showing up and answering prayers. Because again, one of the things I did ask for them to pray about was, patience as I'm getting ready to figure out what it is I'm doing. And once I start to counsel, one of the first people that I have is the most annoying man I've ever met in my life. And again, I'm praying for patience and I'm having people pray for patience for me. And the good Lord again answered because I didn't get patience by any means. I just got every opportunity to be patient with this one fella. Oh, this brother right here, 50-year-old man who acted like he was 5. It was rough. To this day, I've never met anybody more annoying than this man. Just blows my mind how aggravating this brother was. But what it did was early on, I got to experience that because I was able to learn how to deal with and actually work through people who actually have these issues. Because it's not just the drugs and alcohol, it's the mental health, it's the family, it's everything that goes around the lifestyle that these guys live that you're trying to have to work through and deal with. So I was able to develop it and develop an understanding for people in a manner that was even more so better with um, better than doing what I did on security. So now it's just like this is what it is I'm supposed to be doing. So now I'm helping people in addiction when a couple years before I was manipulating them, I was using them, I was using people in general, and now God has taken me and is removing and peeling back that ego to give me the opportunity to actually share, to be with these people and do what I can to help in whatever manner I is hopefully beneficial to them. And thank God that I was able to work at a spot in a place that is a faith-based facility, because we got to talk about Jesus. We got to go to church. We got to do all these things. So it made it easy to really start to uh, uh, get in the spirit with these guys and really show them what it means to get these afflictions removed because of our Lord and Savior. So I'm in the midst of all this, and it's great. And I'm starting to learn. I'm starting to grow, and it's real hard now for that ego to start to develop, because now in my field, you have to give yourself up. You have to give yourself up all the time. You cannot um you cannot be selfish and do what it is that I do and think it's gonna help somebody. It's not gonna happen. And you also can't be in a good frame of mind either, because my profession has a 2-year burnout rate. Well, that's when I started. It may have changed since then, but when I started, it was a 2-year burnout rate that people leave the profession. It's like at the time it was in the top 5 or something like that, top 10 of careers. Um, Hiri. Oh, hey, Hiri, I don't think I've ever seen you before. Yes, I actually would love to answer questions. So if you have any questions, just put a Q with them and I will get to them. Oh, man, you guys have been, my bad, yo. I zoned out when I was talking. I was just like zoning out. So there's a whole bunch of comments. Appreciate your DW for being here. Marion, Una, Jake Green, shout out. Muslim replies. Appreciate you for being here too. Oh, looks like you got muted. Trying to come up here and bring that hate. They'll mute you. They'll mute you. Tommy, my brother, God bless. Rachel, appreciate you. Only love, God bless. Uh, uh, oh, just some Muslim trolls. Yeah, I see that you had to mute somebody a little bit earlier. So yeah, I do ask questions. So if you have a Q and a question, I'll get to them. Because I'm basically, that's kind of just right there is wrapping up my testimony that I started off my life with being all about me, and now today I'm able to help others, and it's even expanded more, because it was just my 9 to 5 that I did, or my 3 to 7 to 3 that I did, and now I get to come on here and learn from these amazing apologists and these amazing polemics, and do what I can to help other people around the globe. One of the coolest things that I've been able to do, or at least see, while I've started doing, YouTube here, was the fact that I've seen people in Muslim countries reach out and say that, man, what it is that God's done in their life. And I was blessed to be able to sit on panels with people that are, spreading the gospel, spreading the truth, and having other people's eyes be opened. So it went from, again, exalting myself to now not doing that, because I know what it is that God wants for me in my life, and it's to serve people. I believe that people have gifts, and one of the gifts that I believe God's given me is the ability to listen. And I don't mean listen as in to say something back. I mean to actually truly be there for somebody and give your time for somebody, so that they know that they can feel comforted in this scenario and situation, where they don't have to feel like they're being judged or anything like that. So I do believe that that's one of the gifts that the Lord has blessed me with and given me. So um yeah. So now my goal is to continue to help and spread the truth, spread the gospel, and whatever it is I do. I've been counseling now for 7 years in October. So I've been at this job that I've been at for 10 years. Um, and even when I was in the military, it was pretty cool as I was counseling and things. Like these rough and tough individuals, would just come to me and start talking to me, because they're like, "Oh, you're a counselor." Well, drug and alcohol counselor, yeah. And then, but they would come to me with all this other stuff. And granted, there's still certain things I can't do ethically, when it comes to like marriage counseling and stuff like that. But people would still come and talk and know that they could come share with me, and that nothing would, get out for anybody. So everywhere I go, I'm able to do that, and that's been a pleasure. So I thank God for showing Himself to be real um, throughout the scriptures and in my life, and it's been an amazing road. Again, I'm not going to say that I'm still where I need to be because I still need to read more. I still need to pray more. I still need to fellowship more. I still need to really get an understanding of God in my life because it wasn't so long ago. I don't know if you guys have heard me say this, but it wasn't so long ago that I was almost walking into a oneness heresy. I was close to walking into a oneness heresy. So it wasn't that long ago because even though again I was in these church communities and stuff like that, we still never developed or grew in understanding the entirety of what God has given us to understand. Because I'm a believer in not just the scriptures. The scriptures are amazing. The scriptures obviously is God breathed, but I also believe He's given us other means. So one of the means that He's given us is, and where I started to do this channel, and why I started to do this channel, is because I was on TikTok one day and his brother was talking about Dr. Gary Habermas's minimal facts argument and talking about his dissertation and how these minimal facts prove the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. I never knew that before. All I knew was we had the Bible, and which again is all it was amazing to know at the time. But now that I know these historical understandings, I didn't know about church fathers before. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know about church history or all the, different manuscripts that we have. I was one of the people that believed that the Bible was, perfect from start to finish. I didn't know that we had this great manuscript tradition that actually shows us, what our scriptures said and or the ways that there have been variants or anything like that. So I didn't know any of that stuff. But now I'm starting to get that understanding. I'm starting to grow in that manner. So it's a blessing. It's real amazing to be able to see people like this. And now I have a desire to learn more. I have a desire to get in my Bible more. I have a desire to do all these things more because God is continuing to reveal Himself to me in ways that He knows that I need to that is going to help me and benefit me in my relationship. So he knew that, hey, you like to talk, you like to listen, you like to learn about certain things. So here, I'm going to give you all this stuff. Have at it. Learn about who I am and who I am in your life and who I've been in the lives of others. So I love it. I love it. And now we're here learning from the best. And as I'm learning, Lord willing, everybody else is learning with me, having people come share their testimonies. It's going to be a great thing. So, uh, right now, I just thank God for everything that's in my life, everything that He's doing in my life, and the people that He's put in my life. And shoot, I got people that I can reach out to that are, I didn't know nothing about no Messianic Jew. I didn't know nothing about that until I met Radar Apologetics. And now I can reach out to that brother, and he helps me with any questions that I have. So, uh, I didn't know anybody from Canada. I had no clue. The only person I knew from Canada, and I didn't even know him, was Drake. But now I got a brother named Chris Claus from Canada that knows all this stuff about apologetics. That's not stingy with anything. That shares the knowledge, shares the love. What? It's all because God is moving and God is showing me that hey, if you follow me, all these things can be for you. All the love, all this growth, all this family, the community, it's there for you. Uh, but if I revert back to who I was, ain't nothing there for me but despair, anger, frustration, and none of the fruits of the spirit. So, man, Drake's from Canada. I hope you don't think I'm talking about King Drake. Hope you don't think I'm not talking about King Drake, who's a good brother of mine too. Actually, I just talked to him right before we came on. But so, yeah, that's my testimony. And Lord willing, I just continue to do what it is that God wants me to do. And that, again, at any point in time that I start to feel myself a little bit too much or that I start to have that ego grow, I just got to revert back to Matthew 23:12 and either get right and get my relationship back strong or He's going to get me right. And I'm sick and tired of that. No, let me not say that. I'm not sick and tired of Him getting me right because it's helped me up to this point. But I'd much rather have a little bit of understanding that I don't want it to happen again. I don't want some of the other things that I didn't necessarily share in this testimony to pop up uh, in the manner that He's chastised me before in the past. I don't want those things to happen. So um, that's where I'm at today, and Lord willing, just continue to grow and whatnot. So with that being said, if anybody has any questions or anything like that, I know somebody asked if they had any questions before, but as people may or may not be writing questions out, um, next Saturday, if you guys see my brother Mikey in the chat, he'll be coming sharing his testimony next Saturday. I can't remember the time off my head, but obviously I'll post that. And then this week I'll also be having another brother of mine. His name is The Word and I. He'll be coming on TikTok anyway. He'll be coming on sometime this week. We just got to iron out a date to share his testimony, and then that's going to be a blessing as well because I love this brother so very much. Uh, if you give me this, Islam would be debunked and would be false. Huh? Oh, you guys are back to. Oh, yes, please. I need it. I'm trying to figure out how you're talking about. Okay, well, I understand, but Muslims ask me this. Oh, okay, y'all helping him out, who or her out, whoever that is. Yeah, continue to help him out. 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Mikey gonna be up here chopping it up. He's gonna be sharing his testimony, what God's done in his life. So be ready for that next Saturday. Tomorrow we'll be getting into, I think at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. You guys will see, or if you guys hit that noti bell, you know what I'm saying. You guys will be notified when I come on. So I'm just gonna throw that up there. Hit that noti bell. So even if you don't see the community post, you'll see me pop up because you'll be notified. You know what I'm saying? So outside of that, we have church history coming out tomorrow. We're gonna be reacting to live. So if you guys want to come jump on and share your knowledge and talk about what we're gonna be learning about, again, hopefully, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's going to be talking about the heretics, which I can't wait for that. Can't wait. Dizzy better show up. Y'all know Dizzy be in the chat. He ain't been in the chat in a while. Well, he was in the chat today. Had to cook him. Had to cook that brother Dizzy in the chat today, y'all. This man tried to say, is what this man tried to say. For those who don't know, Dizzy is my favorite heretic. Dizzy is a Unitarian, if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't claim to be. You know what's crazy? Unitarians never claim to be what it is that they are. When you talk to a modalist, you're like, "Yo, you're a modalist." You're like, no, I believe in the Bible. You talk to a Unitarian, no, I just believe in the Bible. I believe when Jesus said. They'll never claim to actually be what they are. You're a Unitarian. No, I'm not. Okay, whatever. But anyway, so he's my favorite heretic. And he tried to come on today and say, like, oh, well, the Holy Spirit can't be a person because he poured himself out. He poured himself out. The Holy Spirit, persons don't do that. Oh, okay. So then Jesus, who you believe is a person, uh, how is he a person if he emptied himself in Ephesians 5 or 2:5, excuse me? How is Jesus a person when he emptied himself? So a person can't be poured, but they can be emptied, which, if I'm not mistaken, is synonymous with one another, emptying and pouring. But a whole other thing. People are crazy when it comes to stuff. Yeah, they do Abduls. Amen. Hey, yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Again, if you have any questions, I'll be willing to answer them while I'm up here for a little bit longer. Again, but I do appreciate you guys for showing up anyway. And even though it was a big struggle at first, some odd reason my Wi-Fi always wants to just act up. So I want to say like the first maybe 15 minutes of this video is just all me being a robot and whatnot. But hey, we're here now. We got through it, and Lord willing, I was able to, show the love of God and what He's been able to do in my life. And I hope that which He will. I hope that I'm able to continue to learn and grow, and you know, do more of His will than my will. Let His will be done. Take my will up out of here because it's jacked up. Uh, Also, if there's any matter of fact, I'm feeling good today. Is any heretic in the building that wants to jump up and talk? I want to make sure that if there's any heretic that wants to come up here and share what it is that they believe, and I can share the truth with them so that we can hopefully get more people to actually come to know the truth. So if there's anybody up that wants to come up and talk, whether they be a heretic or just in general, if anybody wants to pop up, just let me know. I'll let you pop up as well. I'm looking to probably be done by probably in like 5 minutes or so if I don't see any questions or anything like that, or if anybody does want to pop up and talk. But it, what is interracial marriage allowed in the Bible? Kind of question. Hold on, that threw me for a loop right there. Is any, uh, man, hope so, because if not, I want. Well, even though my parents weren't married, I want to be here. So You know, not me. I'm not a heretic. I know that's right. Brother Mikey's not a heretic. Brother Mikey is hilarious. If y'all got TikTok, actually, what's your TikTok, Mikey? If y'all got TikTok, y'all need to go follow this brother. He has his personas, you know what I'm saying, that he uses, being a Asian father, you know what I'm saying, and just makes people laugh. It's a good time. It's a good time. Y'all need to go follow that brother if you guys got TikTok. You got a YouTube channel, Mikey? Samson married a Philistine woman. I know this isn't a question, but just to let you guys know, Samson is one of my favorite persons in the Bible. I love the story of Samson. I hate what they did to that movie that they just made a couple years back. That movie was like way corny, but Samson, love Samson, love his story. Uh, Reminds me a lot about myself. So Samson, my guy. Uh, Mikey Lau, '07. You know what I'm saying? Go follow that brother. Go help that brother grow. Very intelligent, very wise fella. Um, Doing his thing when it comes to apologetics. And again, very funny too. Very funny too. And y'all know I love people that are, bring a comedic element to it, not just all straight face all the time. So shout out to that brother. I've been thinking about TikTok. I tell you what, if you want to have some laughs, if you want to have some laughs, go to Heretic TikTok. It is amazing. You will get all the I'm actually upset at myself that I don't record their lives more or get some more TikTok videos to react to because those things are hilarious. They are the funniest nonsensical things. They were actually just last night. Chris Claus, One Way Apologetics, was reacting. Had a whole bunch of people on the panel. Mikey, speaking of, was on the panel as well, and they were reacting to this dude named Muslim Rockstar, who said that people who bring up Aisha and Muhammad's marriage are sexist and bigots. Sexist and bigots because we don't condone pedophilia. He started off by saying, if they're going to play that game, we're going to play our game. They said their game is saying that Muhammad's a pedophile. Our game is saying that they worship a man. That's the nonsense that they talk about on Heretic and Muslim TikTok. Come on, join. I tell you what. Again, without TikTok, I won't even be here today because not only is there crazy nonsense on TikTok, but there's also very uh, good arguments and good debates that actually are very beneficial. Again, that's why I seen Mikey at first, Black Doctor. I seen him on TikTok first. Uh, the brother that's gonna be coming on later, the Word and I. So a lot of people. I know that's right. I know that's right, Marion. So there's a lot of good apologists on TikTok that are crazy good, and also a lot of heretics on there. That's actually where one of the arguments I seen was oh dang, can I remember? Man, there was some dude who was arguing with me back and forth about John 14:16 and how the another spirit doesn't mean another. I forgot what he said though. He said it means another word other than another. So basically stating that it doesn't mean another. The Father is still the helper. And it just blew my mind. I wish I could remember, but you hear a lot of crazy things on TikTok. You see a lot of dumb comments on YouTube, but you hear a lot of crazy comments on TikTok. It is ridiculous. Do you know in the Quran you're allowed to marry an animal, make love with it? And I heard Muhammad had love with a dead deer. I don't know. Is that in the Quran or is that hadiths? I don't know because I do know them hadiths is crazy. Them hadiths have you look at. You already look at Muhammad in a bad light, but you read these hadiths. I see why Shias disown these Muslim folk or these Sunni folks because their hadiths, man, they make oof, it's rough. It is rough. And then yeah, so I don't. Let me know if anybody knows if that is actually in the Quran, but I think it's a hadith that's in there. But yo, so again, if you're up to this point, we got tomorrow at 1 or so. We're gonna be listening to the next 2 episodes of church history. So we're gonna be learning. We're gonna be growing. Uh, I believe I'm gonna drop a Bob from Speaker's Corner debate tomorrow that I'm gonna be reacting to, which was hilarious, hilarious, and about the Christian Crusades and things of that nature. And really good information. So Bob from Speaker's Corner, by the way, shout out to that brother. So that'll be dropping tomorrow morning, and then church history, and then we got 2 more testimonies coming up this week. One, well, next week on Saturday, one another week, and then obviously still gonna be dropping. I seen on CIRA International that Anthony Rogers a couple years ago was showing the Trinity in the Old Testament. It's like an 8 episode, if not more, part series, and we may have to jump on that on like a Friday or something. That might be like a Friday stream, kind of like how I do church history on Sundays. I may jump on this Friday as well to do and react to those because yeah, I seen them and I was intrigued. So I got them saved to the watch later. So probably fat flashback Fridays because it was a couple years back. We'll jump on that and see what Alpha D and Anthony Rogers is talking about. Uh, I've never heard of that, but you should check out Sahih Al-Bukhari 55117. Okay, let's look at it. All right, let's look at it. Do do do. And I will definitely share my screen. What is it? Where'd it go? Dang it. 5517. Okay. By the way, shout out to let them know, Marion. I tell you, Marion is clutch in the comments. She is hilarious. So is Una. Una is amazing in the comments as well. Hunting and slaughtering. Okay. Oh, this is this one. uh, it's not the full one. I'll tell you what, but I'll share it anyway. So let's see. Let's see. So we got some stuff right here, y'all. We got some stuff right here. Oops. So my brother Mikey wanted us to let you know that apparently Abu Masa al whoever this is saw Muhammad eating chicken. Saw Muhammad eating chicken. Mm. And I don't know if you guys know, but I don't think it was seasoned. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think Muhammad ate some good seasoned chicken. I think it was unseasoned. It might have been raw. He might have been sucking on chicken toes too. You never know. Licking chicken beak. I don't know. But somehow, some way, Muhammad was caught red-handed with a chicken. He, he never mind. I was gonna say something really bad. What was the one that you wanted me to look at, Una? Sahih Bukhari 260. All right, let's look at it. Uh, do I have to put the whole thing? Sahih. Uh, if anybody knows a better way to look through this too, by the way, let me know because I'm still not proficient in. What did you say? 260. Navigate my way through these hadiths. I try to stick more so with the Quran itself, but uh, the Prophet took the bath of Janaba, sexual relation. Well, okay. Whoa, Una. All right. He first cleaned his private parts. So he was caught with another chicken red-handed, choking that chicken, and then rubbed it. What? That was childish. I apologize. The prophet took the bath of Janaba. He first cleaned his private parts with his hand, and then rubbed that hand on the wall, and washed. What? Then he performed. Uh, why y'all writing this, man? Y'all don't love Muhammad, bro. These people, these people do not love Muhammad. They saying all this nonsense. This is the this right here is the best of people for the Muslims. Somebody who's choking his chicken and spreading stuff on the walls. And man, can you imagine if they had black lights back then? How disgusting that room would look. My gosh. Crime scene CSI. Get them over there. That is crazy. That is crazy. Oh, speaking of people, my guy, Hebrew World, follow that brother right there on YouTube. also does reactions. Um, Amazing content. He also gets into like a lot of the political and also different things that are discussed. Like he just did a video with Joe Rogan and Cat Williams, which is hilarious. Go check that out. My brother right there, Hebrew World. And eventually, of course, we're gonna get this brother on here sharing his testimony. It's gonna happen for sure. But this is my guy right here, another brother that I can call on and learn from and grow with. So shout out to that brother. Uh, but yeah, plenty of yeah. This is ridiculous. What's another funny, disgusting uh hadith that we can look at that we can put Muhammad to more shame with, because I'm all about the the truth of Muhammad coming out. And that's what more people just need to do. That's probably I don't know when. I'm probably just gonna do a series where I just come on and read the funniest hadiths that I see. Oh, you got a collection for me, Una? Bet. Let me know. Um, is my email on the thing? I can't see. If my email's on the thing, email it to me. Do you know if you called Muhammad black, you are destined to hell? Yeah, they racist. They racist. They don't like black folk. They call them left shoulders. They call them peanut heads. Or not peanut heads. Excuse me, raisin heads. Uh, Apparently Allah is gonna be a pure white boy, which is weird. What else? Crazy stuff. And people love it, and people don't care. People do not care about all these things. Uh, Let me see. Let me see. What else can we? What was Yeah, bro, you are a raisin head to them. I'm half raisin head, so it's all right. You're called a left shoulder. By the way, shout out to my brother Study the Show. He's hilarious. Um, you know, black folk, we are left shoulders when it comes to how we're viewed in Islam. So, Left Shoulder History Month just passed. It's crazy. It was amazing. I only celebrate. Usually, I celebrate the first half, but because we had the leap year, I had to go with the second half. To get my left shoulder day on. So, left shoulders for the win. You're even half left shoulders. We out here doing our thing. Muhammad doing his cleansing ritual with dead dogs and menstrual rags is very disgusting hadith. Oh, okay. Do we know the number of that? Because I did see and hear about that. And he's just out here. See, that's what I'm saying. Muhammad was really a drug user as well. I could, if Muhammad was alive today, he would be in my facility. I know it. I know it. I was just reacting to the video that came out last night about how Satan is apparently in all these people's noses, and the views that these Muslims have. It's rough. There's a lot of psychosis going on. I tell you, it seems like a lot of these Muslims, or especially Muhammad, had a lot of mental health issues, and this brother was stuck with a lot of this stuff. Sahih Al Bukhari 258. Uh, this is But this one is hard to find online, mostly deleted. Oh man, so let's see if we can't. Uh, it's probably not gonna be on here then, huh? Oops. No, I don't want to. All right, you said what was this one? Yeah, they probably definitely ain't gonna have it on here. Oh, dang it. Uh, I think. Hold on, I'll put it in there. Actually, I want to see the hadith that you were talking about though. Where? Oh, where is it at? I can't see it. So there's half raisin heads and half brains. Yeah, I guess so. We had women that half brain, I tell you. And women love it too. They're like, yeah, we're half brain. It just means that we're emotional. Like, all right, cool. So because you're emotional, that means you're half slow. 3404. Okay, let's look at this one. Islam, where you come to degrade yourself, be subjected, and be racist. All these. Ooh, man, this is a long one. Allah's apostle said the prophet Moses was a shy person and used to cover his body completely because of his extensive shyness. One of the children of Israel hurt him by saying he covers his body in this way only because of some defect in his skin, either leprosy or scro- hold on now, scrotal hernia, or he has some other defect. Well, those are like Anyway, Allah wished to clear Moses of what they said about him. So one day, while Moses was in seclusion, he took off his clothes and put them on a stone and started taking a bath. When he had finished the bath, he moved towards his clothes so as to take them. But the stone took his clothes off and fled. Dang! So y'all playing high school pranks on Moses? Had that stone take his clothes and run? That's crazy. Uh, Moses picked up his stick and ran after the stone, saying, "Oh, stone, give me my garment." All right. Till he reached a group of Bani Israel who saw him naked. Then and found him the best of what Allah had created, and Allah cleared him of what they had accused him of. Bruh, so y'all made this public indecency just because y'all wanted to prove a point. That is disgusting. You could have just said, "Hey Moses, go, you be all right. Don't worry about it, Moses." But now he's gonna say, "Let's just show him off to the world. Let's show him in all his glory." The stone stopped there, and Moses took and put his garment on and started hitting the stone with the stick. By Allah, the stone still has some traces of hitting 3, 4, 5 marks. This was what Allah refers to as saying, "O you who believe, be you not like those who annoyed Moses." But Allah proved his innocence of that which they alleged, and he was honorable in Allah's sight. Wow. Wow. Yeah, if I were to be a Muslim, I could not be a Sunnah. I'd have to be a Shia or Sunni, excuse me. I would have to be. I would have to be. I have to be Quran only. I would much rather deal with the contradictions of being Quran only than have this be what it is that I'm rocking with. Like, yo, we out here having stones take people's clothes. And again, if I'm not mistaken, Sahi is good. That means this happened in the mind of the, uh, Muslims. Did y'all block the dude, the Muslim dude, or is he still in here? Or did you just mute him? Because I want him to answer for this. I want him to come up and share his reply, his Muslim reply to why stones is taking clothes. I want to thank you, Mikey. I appreciate that because this is crazy. This is crazy. We all, if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a TikTok channel, if you just do shorts, what Muslim? I think his name was Muslim Replies. That's the one I think I seen earlier. Um, I didn't know if there was any more. If there was any more, shoot, are any of them up here? Because I want them to answer to this. So he is unhidden. So he okay. So hopefully he's here then. That's one thing I wish that you could see is like the people in here because I would love to have him in here. But uh, oh yeah, it's unhidden. Okay, cool. So what we need to do is we just need to get all these hadiths right and just read them. Just read them and put them out. And whatever happens, happens. All up like just a flood. I know people do this, but we just need to re reemerge with these because I've only been into like the Muslim apologetics for a little bit, for a little while. I'm still learning a lot more. I mean, there's certain arguments that I love to use that, again, because I like to just stick with certain arguments that I don't like to go here, there, everywhere. I'll just stick with this. If you can't answer this, cool. Sucks. Sucks to be you. But like these are super embarrassing. These are so bad. And then people read these like, yeah, that's my prophet. Hmm. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, that makes sense. Stones taking clothes to show off Moses. Prophet choking chickens, eating chickens. All right, cool, whatever. Uh, Sahih Bukhari 16, is that 1629? Let's see, 1629. Let's look at 16. Oh wait, no, that's not 1629, is it? 16298. Oh, there we go. 162. Was that really? Let's look at it. Is that a thing? Oh, that's not what it is. Uh, are you saying this Sahih Bukhari 16? Whoops. 16. Okay, so 298. Is that what you're saying? We're gonna go 298. I think that's how you have to look it up here. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh. This is still disgusting. While I was laying with the prophet under a single woolen sheet, I got the menses. I slipped away and put on the clothes for menses. He said, "Have you got nifas, menses?" I replied, "Yes." He then called me and made me lie with him under the same sheet. Man, this brother right here is a freak. He's a super freak, super freak. He's super freaky. Yow. All these things that we like, that they talk about nowadays. Um, it seems like Muhammad was all about. Like, this man was fetishizing well before we have all these new fetishes out here now. His brother's out here running red lights like it's nothing. Saying, I don't care about none of that. None of that. Ooh, shout out to Latia. She's up in here. Dead dogs and bloody rags, Suna. Nasa. Okay, let's see if I can get that one in there. So let's read it. Let's read it. Let's just keep going. So, bruh, Muslims, stop it. Like, come on, come to the truth. My gosh, why? I don't care if I was, forced to be a Muslim. I'm leaving. I would never. If I have to read this and be like, yo, this is what it is. This is who my prophet is. I'm out. I'm out. Can't do it. Cancer. Amen. I know that's right. What's the one? Sunnah. Nasa. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Where is it at? Where's it at? Why do I keep losing these? I'm just gonna put it on the screen so I don't lose it because I keep having it pop up. There we go. All right. Sunnah. And what's the other one? 326. Oh, this one. Let me see. Let's go ahead on and see if we can't find that somewhere. Ah, wait, did it pop up on that? Oh well. We here now. It was said, "O messenger of Allah, you perform wudu to get Satan up out of there. Got to get Satan up out these nose. These Satan crusty booger. Got to get him out." Man, that suck though. Like if he's a wet one already, even using water would probably be really hard to get a wet stuck one up there out. But anyway, O messenger of Allah, you perform wudu from the well into which of the bodies of dogs, menstrual rags, and garbage are thrown. He said, "Water is pure and is not made impure by anything." Bull crap. What's grade Hassan? Is that still strong or is that kind of like lightweight weak? Either way, that's still hilarious. That's still disgusting. Just say, yo, let me go ahead on and throw this back in my nose. He was a drug abuser. For people who know, when it comes to shooting up certain drugs, right? People use different things, mud water, things of that nature, because you got to do what you got to do. This brother has all the characteristics of people in addiction. This brother right here is snorting mincy water and dead, corrupted, rotten dog water. What? This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. This brother's out here taking back the the blood of ugh. Find the hadith where the prophet was choked by Jibril. Was is that the reference? Let me see if this one is. Sahih Bukhari 327. Let's look at this one. What is this one? Sahih. Oh, so now we got okay. So yeah, this is what yep, this is what Sam Shamoon was talking about in that same video I just reacted to. It was mentioned before the prophet that there was a man who slept the night till morning. The prophet said he is a man in whose ears Satan had urinated. So now we got Satan in people's noses, Satan's peeing in people's ears. We got gin stuck in people's throats, and this is what they believe in. This is what they believe in, y'all. There's a phrase that was coined by Guy Logic, talked about we just gonna read. And bruh, if we just read, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Also, hadith where eating 7 dates will save you from poisoning. Hey, I ain't gonna front. 7 dates is good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't been poisoned yet. You know what I'm saying? So I eat some 7 dates. What was the other one that you said I want to look at? What was it about? Hadith choked. Oh yeah, this is one I love. Because I love wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that right, Hebrew world? We out here, rocking with wrestling. So it's all right to see the prophet getting choked out. Let's look at it. Let's look at it if we can find it. Okay, that's probably a better way to look at it. Satan came in front of me and interrupted my ears. Let's see this one. Ooh. Oh no, that's Satan. Satan. Oh, he choked Satan. So okay, he beating up Satan now. All right, cool, cool. That's not what I want to look for. I'm trying to find. I'm trying to find. Isn't that backing up? Do you have the actual reference to this one? Hey, we back. They tried it. They tried it, but we back. We are back in action. Can everybody hear me? See me? Yeah, we here. All right. I had to readjust my laptop real quick. That thing just died down on you, boy. Died down. All right. Where we at? Sahih Bukhari 6982. Sahih Bukhari 6982. Oh, let me come over here. Share this bad boy so we can be back in action while we got time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing to do right now, so let's go ahead on and look at this brother being choked out. All right. Narrated by Isha. Oh, wait, is this it? But I put it in right. You said rebuke that. Amen. Amen. You are not welcome here. The Hadith about him being choked out by Jibril. Okay, so let's read it. Oh, this is a long one. All right. Well, if it's in here, we're going to get to it. The commencement of the divine inspiration to Allah's apostle was in the form of good righteousness, true dreams. In his sleep, he never had a dream, but that it came true, like bright daylight. He used to go in seclusion, the cave of Hira, where he used to worship Allah continuously for many days and nights. He used to take with him the journey, or used to take with him the journey food for that stay, and then come back to his wife, hanging out with Khadijah. Khadijah really don't get no love, y'all. She kind of like a redheaded stepwife. She really don't get no love. But and she was the first. Aisha's the one that gets talked about all the time. But Khadijah, forget her. To take food or to take his food, likewise again for another period to stay, till suddenly the truth, descended upon him while he was in the cave of Hira. The angel came to him in it and asked him to read. The prophet replied, I do not know how to read. The prophet added, the angel caught me forcibly, yoked him up, said, you don't read, and pressed me so hard that I could not bear it anymore. He was in there bear hugging. See, he was the first drug addict. He was the first person to receive a bear hug. Muhammad is the first for a lot of these things. He's out here making it known that if you follow Allah, you can have Satan in your nose. You can snort mincy blood water with dog dead bodies in it. He's letting you know all the cool things that you get with Islam. That's what he's letting you know. Y'all better follow Muhammad and his teachings. Better follow Allah. So where's that? Uh, the angel came in and asked him to read. The prophet replied, I do not know how to read. Then the angel caught him forcibly, pressed him so hard that he could not bear it anymore. He then released me and again asked me to read. And I replied, I do not know how to read. Whereupon he caught me again and pressed me a second time till I could not bear it anymore. He then released me and asked me again to read. But again I replied, I do not know how to read. Thereupon, oh, I already read that one. Whoops. Looks like I don't know how to read, fellas and ladies. In the name of your Lord, who has created all that exists, has created man from a clot. Read, wait, I thought we made from, anyway, read, and your Lord is most generous, up to that which he knew not. Then Allah's apostle returned with the inspiration. His neck muscles twitched with terror till he entered upon Khadijah and said, cover me, cover me. They covered him till his fear was over, and then he said, oh, Khadijah, what is wrong with me? Then he told her everything that had happened and said, I fear that something may happen to me. Khadijah said, never, but have the glad tidings. For by Allah, Allah will never disgrace you as you keep good reactions with your, I don't know what that word is, and kin. Speak the truth, help the poor and the destitute. Serve our guests generously and assist the deserving. Calamity afflicted ones. Khadijah then accompanied him to her cousin Warwick bin Narfel, uh, bin Asad bin everything else. Warwick was the son of their paternal uncle, i.e., her father's brother, who during the pre-Islamic period became a Christian. Lies. And used to write the Arabic writings and used to write. Hold on. Time out. Time out now. Wait. Time out. What's going on here? So is Warwick one of these people that were corrupting the scriptures with his hands? Is that what's going on here? His own companion was writing down and corrupting the book that wasn't written down, huh? Hold on now. I think I might forget everything else. Of course, he got choked out a couple times, bear hugged, got, mopped up. Say, read. He's like, I can't do it. I tell you what, Allah's so great, but he couldn't help you read. That's crazy to really think about that too. Like, yo, in the Bible, Jesus has healed the blind. He calls the lame to walk again. But in the Quran, Allah's not strong enough to let this brother have the ability to read. He choked him out twice and still couldn't pop. the ability to read in that man's eyes. That's crazy. That is crazy now I think about it. There's so much wrong with this now that I'm actually looking into it and actually just seeing how their their main beliefs and these which I believe they don't even really think about how they kind of just contradict everything that the Quran says. But anyway, so Warwick, i.e., her father's brother, who during the pre-Islamic period became a Christian and used to write the Arabic writing and used to write of the Gospels in Arabic. So hold on, now not only so he was writing these Gospels that we didn't have. We ain't had these. Muslims say that we don't have that. It was given to Jesus. So how was he writing it all these years after Jesus? Huh? Anyway, he was an old man and had lost his eyesight. Dang, that's crazy. So he could write better than Muhammad could read. That's crazy. He was blind. Yo, you think he wrote in Braille back then? How do you think that like blind people wrote? What if? See, oh, bro, listen. That's this is where the corruption happened because y'all got blind people writing stuff. He thought he was writing scriptures. He was just writing triangles. He was making shapes. He was writing "Go dogs go." He wasn't writing the scriptures because he couldn't see what it was that he was writing. I'm I'm figuring it all out now. I'm figuring it all out. It makes all the sense in the world now. So it's really these people that corrupted the scriptures right here. How y'all gonna rely on blind people to write these scriptures? Man, I'm so glad you guys had me read this today. It's opening my eyes so much to the truth. Oh my cousin, listen to the story of your nephew. Warwick said, "Oh my nephew, what have you?" Okay, who cares? So, man, we're learning a lot today, y'all. I don't know if y'all getting what I'm getting from this, but I'm getting a lot. I'm getting a lot of understanding, and I'm glad. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Russell, for bringing this up. I appreciate you all. Writing in triangles, yeah, bro. That's I can't believe that you know Warwick, who's blind, is writing all these scriptures and thinking that, especially in the manner like look at this right here. Look at this. So he's writing in Arabic, right? So you telling me a blind man nowadays it could probably be done, but back then I don't necessarily know. I can't highlight it, but so a blind man didn't use this right here and accidentally cross this too much, huh? And turn that a completely different word, or right here instead of having these two dots, have three of them, maybe some ink dripped. Who knows? Muhammad won't know because he can't read. So anything that this blind man wrote. This is a movie. What's that movie with Richard Pryor and old dude? Um, See no evil, hear no evil. That's what this is. That is what this is. You got a blind man writing scriptures and telling Muhammad that this is what the scriptures are saying. That oh yeah, you're doing what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and he can't even read to confirm what it is that the blind man wrote. This is amazing. I'm so very glad that I read this today. Thank you guys so very much for this. I'm so glad. Muhammad saw that his own recitations were inconsistent and told his followers to just roll with it. I know that's right. He said, we're just going to abrogate some that may sound a little bit better. This one sounds a little bit more perfect than the last perfect verse, so we're going to go with this a little bit more perfect one. Oh, this one really doesn't go with my beliefs at this time anymore? Let's go ahead and change that up. That's the Islamic way. Prove Muhammad in the Bible, like I said. Oh, is there a Muslim person in the chat right now? Fact of the matter is that the Quran confirms the Bible. I know that's right. I know that's right. By the way, CP taught me how all hadiths are authentic. Hadiths and Muslim scholars confirm this. So hadith being the best grade, Hassan equals good, Daif weak, which is the worst, but all still authentic. Dang. All right. I'm with it. Richard Pryor and See No Evil. Yep. See. We're right here, only love. We right here. Because that is a good movie. But yeah, that's what's going on here. Muhammad's like, yo, tell me what you're writing. Circle here, rainbow here, uh, eating chicken here, all this fun stuff. I tell you, real. So again, this is one of the things I want to point out. If there's any Muslims in here, if there's any Muslims in here, where's it at? Quran. This is this is why I'm stuck on y'all because I like to just stick to certain things. So when it comes to the Unitarian argument, I know that's right, Rachel. The Unitarian argument that I love to stick with is when people try to first and foremost say that the Trinity was created at the Council of Nicaea or you know, years after, right? And then you break it down to them, say, no, the church fathers, early church fathers have talked about, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, all being God, all being the one God, but obviously different persons. So I love that. And then I go into, because Unitarians don't believe that John 1:1 is talking about in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So they say that the Word is a God. So they love to go with that recitation for whatever reason. So what I enjoy doing is showing them that, first and foremost, St. John, or excuse me, not St. John, but St. Ignatius, who was the disciple of John, talked about who the Word is. And he talked about who the Holy Spirit is. He talked about who the Father is. And he identifies them all as God, the one God. So I love that, when these people try to say, oh, well, this is what it actually means. But when we go back to the disciples of the apostles, they knew better than any Greek scholar now knows. They know how to recite what the, scriptures were actually talking about then. And if John's disciple is stating that the word is God, there's absolutely no reason why these people nowadays that are Unitarians should still stick with that argument. But that's some of the things that they don't know. So I say that to say, again, that's my favorite argument to stick with. And I really try not to deviate from that. I try to stick on that point until, they really know that, hey, they have nothing for it. So the same thing with, Muslims in certain areas. I enjoy sticking with certain arguments. And this is my favorite one to stick with just because, again, you can use it in many different ways. I mean, the Islamic dilemma, you can use in many different ways. But in Surah 11:1, it states that this book, whose verses are well perfected and then fully explained, it is from the one who is all wise and all aware. And obviously, I think there's like five more uh, verses that talk about how everything in this book is perfect and it's explained. And then, which I just love this one, y'all. So bear with me because I'm pretty sure you guys have seen this uh, different times. And again, shout out to Guy Logic because he's actually, you know, I got part of this, the first, or well, the second part from him. So then we come here to 26, 192. And this is what I love to do. And then people just kind of like run and don't really know what to say. I've heard different arguments from it though, that people try to use, but none of them really, once you start digging a little bit more and they don't deal with it. So 11:1 states that these verses are perfectly explained and there's nothing wrong with it. So then we get to 26:192. It says, this is certainly a revelation from the Lord of all worlds, which the trustworthy spirit Gabriel brought down. And how did he bring it down? We just read about it. He choked that brother out. Said, yo, you gonna read. You gonna read. The guy from the Old Testament and New Testament was doing all these miracles, but yet I can't make you read. So we know that Jibril is the one who brought down the Quran and revealed it to Muhammad. And then we get down here into your heart, O prophet, so that you may be one of the warners in a clear Arabic tongue, and it has indeed been foretold in the scriptures of those before. So one of the things I love doing is asking people, well, what scriptures? Now they can tell me what scriptures if they use the Tasfir, which is via Ibn Kathir and some other folks. So they can tell you what scriptures it are. But unfortunately, if they do that and they go out that route and they tell you what the scriptures are, A, they're going against 11:1 because they can't do it without the Tasfir. And B, when you actually look at the scriptures it's talking about, the Torah and the Zabur, nowhere is the Quran mentioned in the Torah or the Zabur. So I like to keep it simple. I like to keep, you know, I don't have the repertoire that a Sam Shamoon and or Anthony Rogers or a God Logic would have. But I do like to keep it simple, so I do have ways that show these folks like, yo, your book makes absolutely no sense. And by the way, shout out to my guy Chucky. Chucky is one of the people that on Facebook and on YouTube. If I'm not mistaken, on YouTube he is Chuck E. So if you see Chuck E in the comments, I believe that is brother right here, Chucky. He gives me so many hadiths, so many works that I still have to shift through and collect and put together. So he is one that definitely gives me some resources. So shout out to that brother. That brother's been rocking for a long time now. So see Chucky in the chat. Say what's up to Chucky because he comes with the fire. He comes with the heat at all times. Oh my gosh, I'm almost in 2 hours. I did not expect this to be this long. Uh, let's see. Una, you lying Arab. Go Muhammad is the Bible. Go check Matthew. Verse. Muslims are absolutely right. Oh, is Hiyuri a Muslim? Hold on, Hiyuri. Let's talk about something. You are a Christian, and so you lie. Muhammad is in the Bible. Go check Matthew chapter 7:15. Being telling the truth the whole time. Matthew 7:15. Well, let's go. Let's go. Matthew, what do you say? Matthew 7:15. So let's go look at Matthew 7:15. Yuri. Oh, well, if you're a Muslim, Yuri, answer my question, brother. Why does your book say it's perfectly explained, but without using tafsir, you can't tell me what scriptures that's being foretold of the Quran prior to? Tell me that. I thought that brother was Christian. I don't know why. He was asking weird questions. I should have known. But let's see. He said Matthew 7:15. Let's go look at it. Let's go look at Matthew 7:15. Doo doo doo. Oh, got me. He got me. My bad. My bad, Hiri. I didn't see what you were saying, my brother. I didn't see what you were saying. You right. You right. I was not see. This is what happens when you don't follow the context of the conversation. That's what happens. I've seen like two of your conversations. We try to call my girl Una a liar, but I didn't see what you were talking about. But I see what you're talking about now. But hold on now. You ain't had to call her lying Arab. Hold on now. I'm gonna have to. Muslims are right. Go check. Bible. Muhammad in the Bible. Stop lying. He ain't had to call her lying Arab like that though. You could have made your point a little bit better than that. Gotta do better, brother. Gotta do better. But yeah, Muhammad is in the Bible. Um, he's a uh, lying and deceiver. So he is where's it at? 15. There you go. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. Mm, there you go. Facts. Facts. See, that's what I'm saying, Una. He did it. He done messed up. He could have did it a different way. Could have did it a different way. Because now I was about to go after him. Second Peter 2:1-3. All right. Second Peter. Second Peter. Was it 2:1-3? Bro, if y'all don't get up out of here. Hey, if you want to free Star David charm, you can go to International Fellowship of Christians and Jews. Request today. Hey. All right. You said 1-3. But false prophets also appeared among the people, just as there will also be false teachers among you, who will secretly introduce destructive heresies, even denying the master who bought them, bringing swift destruction upon themselves. Many will follow their indecent behavior, and because of them, the way of the truth will be maligned. And in their greed, they will exploit you with false words. Their judgment from long ago is not idle, and their destruction is not asleep. I know that's right. Muhammad is in the Bible. Yes, he is. He is in the Bible as uh, these false people that come in, and unfortunately, what follows them is death, destruction, and a whole bunch of menstrual blood in your nose. That's what follows. That is what happens when you are following Muhammad. So, thank you for that, Hiri. How do you say your name? Big shout out. But again, you could have did a little bit better, brother. Could have did a little bit better. Do you have any more hadiths, real quick? I'll probably read one more before we skedaddle. Before I skedaddle, because again, I was supposed to be gone like 30 minutes ago, but hey, we're learning, and I'm glad, so glad I didn't leave because that hadith, I think I can create a lot of good stuff from that. So I'm gonna have to save that and really dive into it. Because again, I'm not, even though I have sound arguments that I love making, and that are hard to refute. I still also like being childish, and I like making arguments that are just hilarious. And to me, talking about that blind brother, writing down scriptures is just so very funny. I can't let that go. I have to. I have to do something with that. If I don't do something with that, yo, I will lose my mind. So I got to do something with that. It's good to be a kafir. I know that's right. It is related to it is related to I said, "I never with my eyes overflowing with tears." That is because the prophet, may Allah bless him and grant him peace, went out one day and he found me in the mosque. He took my hand and I went along with him. He did not speak to me until I reached down the market. He walked around it and looked. Then he left and I left with him. He reached the mosque, he sat down, wrapped himself in garments. Then he said, "Dang, now I gotta wait for the rest. Now I gotta wait for the rest." Do. So we're just gonna wait here for the rest. Yo, man, I appreciate you guys so very much for watching. Man, for those who stayed around this long, bless your guys' hearts. Appreciate the love. Appreciate only love. Una, brother Chucky, Mikey was in here not too long ago. Hebrew World, Marion, Latia stopped by, Russell showing up, Hassan earlier on showing up. If anybody I'm forgetting that popped up, I do apologize. My memory sucks, so if it's not like right there in my eyes, it's hard to see. But so again, tomorrow well, let me read this first. I never. Wait, did I already read this one? Did he just write it twice? Oh, brother, you set me up. You set me up. I'm trying to read part number 2. You sent part number 1 twice. Uh, unless that's just different rendition of it. Uh, brother, we will be here. We will be here. I really don't have any set schedules though. When it comes to going at the Mohammedans and whatnot, but I do want to do more lives too, where I probably do more so of an open discussion, have a topic where I have people come up. So again, because I still have to get better and get used to talking and having discussions with people. So hopefully, if I actually start doing some of the things like Brother Guy Logic does, where he has a topic and he comes up on live, that more people that would want to have a conversation about it will come up. So hopefully, I'm gonna start getting into those a little bit more. But tomorrow, again, for those who are still here, church history at 1. We're gonna be going over episode, I believe, 6 and 7. Um, and yeah, we're just gonna be learning about church history and stuff like that. So, and also again, my brother Mikey is coming. You're subscribed. Well, I appreciate you, Russell. Much love, brother. Um, I do have next week, same time. Well, no, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Brother Mikey's gonna be coming and sharing his testimony, and then he also has on his TikTok on that same day, he's going to be doing a live stream about something very good. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know he's going to be on TikTok doing a live stream about something amazing. Oh, my brother Tommy, God bless you. So tomorrow, if you want to stop by, we're going to be learning about church history. Again, I hope it's about the heretics because man, I'm gonna have a field day with that. If you see Dizzy in the comments, tell him his arguments suck and he needs to do better with love. Outside of that, man, I appreciate you guys for getting pulling up. So we're gonna be live again tomorrow. And again, I do have some more ideas of reading some of these hadiths and just making fun of these hadiths, and also have some more live reactions I want to get to when it comes to learning about the truth of the Trinity, truth of the Trinity in the Old Testament. So that's going to be coming up here soon as well. And obviously reactions. I got a fire reaction from Bob from Speaker's Corner dropping tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be great. Probably 6 a.m. So if you're up that early, watch it. If you're not, watch it whenever you can, because he's does a great job at sharing history in this video, and yeah, just hilarious. And if you didn't see the video today, you know what I'm saying about Satan being in noses that Sam Shamoon was talking about. Watch that. That came out. Satan being the little Mohammedan's noses, hanging out, doing his thing, being voodooed by Muhammad with menstrual blood. See, that's one way you gotta get Satan out. You gotta use the thick. You gotta use the because blood is thicker than water. So if you use chunky blood with dog remnants in there, uh, it's gonna really push Satan out. It's really gonna get Satan out of there. So I can understand why what I'm saying Muhammad would do such a thing. So uh, how do you know Muhammad liked biting little boys' tongue? I don't know. Hiri, how about you tell me? Because now I'm interested. uh, yeah, my apologies. Unless you guys are talking about what Hiri is about to talk about. Not just biting tongues, if you feel me. Ooh, yeah, ain't that a hadith too? Uh, where he's yeah, well, yeah, I don't want to get into that, but yeah, I will though. Trust and believe. I will read. Yeah, I think sometime this week, somebody hold me to it. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna see if I can collect all these hadiths and just read them. Just come on live and read them and learn. I'm not gonna say nothing else gonna come from it. Shoot, I might even see if any of my brothers and sisters want to come up here and just read them with me, so we can just read them. If if some comes from it, some comes from it. If not, we just gonna read. I suck at exiting. I really suck at making the exit. So this is my exit for sure, for sure. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. A hadith roast? Yes. Una, we're gonna do that. I'm going to. Oh wait, see, this is why I suck at exiting because I said, uh, Una, if you can, hold on. I got like 3 emails, and I don't know which one is the best one to use. Here we go, Una. There we go. I got this one for you. If you can, uh, email me those hadith names or the links to the hadiths here, and if you can do that, I'll be able to get them. That's another one of my. If you guys didn't know, this channel's name was actually first Reacting Albert, and I realized that was corny. So don't judge me when you see my email. Don't judge that. It was a hard time, and I had to switch it up. But yeah, so if you can email that, and then that would and should, be all right. If I don't have one of them that's already up on this page, so that'd be greatly appreciated. So also, anybody who sees that email, if you want to email me anything, if you want to share your testimony, if you want to hit me up to share your testimony, if you want to, that's what I'm saying. Russell Westbrook Gaming, appreciate that. One love. But yeah, if you want to ask to come on and share your testimony, you can hit me up there. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to give me any resources, I am not one to be. If you want to share with me these hadiths, if you want to share with me certain Quran verses or even scriptures, hit that email up, and I'll get back to them. And I would greatly appreciate it, because the more that you're able to learn, the more that I'm able to learn, the more that I feel like I'll be able to do this in a more efficient way, in a better way. So can't be wrong with that. So if you want to, take down that email address so that you can hit me up. Shoot, even if you need prayer or if you just want to ask for some prayer, we can do that as well. And you know, so I'm not hard to reach. And also, if you see me on TikTok and or here, if you just want to shoot a comment or a message, you can do that as well. So now this is where I'm signing off. For real, for real. God bless y'all. Tomorrow we'll be live. Church history, 1 p.m. God bless. Have a great day or evening or night or morning, wherever you're at. And I appreciate you guys for popping up. And yeah, we're gonna continue just to share the truth of the gospel. Love y'all, and we'll see y'all